Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2023 Volvo C40 full electric vehicle in the ultimate trim level. This vehicle is sitting on a set of 20-inch Pirelli tires. Now there's 235 45s in the front, 255 40s in the back, and these are wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels. These are diamond cut alloy wheels with a gloss black finish, no hubcaps or wheel covers or anything like that. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Fjord Blue. I think that's how you say it. Really nice color, especially with the sun shining right now. It looks fantastic. Hopefully you can get an idea. Now there's 8 different colors you can get this vehicle in, and all of them look great. I think this one looks really good. It's really good at showing some of the highlights. So the black color doesn't show parts like that in the video very well, so this one shows it nicely. So first of all, there is active grille shutters down here for the climate control system. So right in here, right in there, will open up when it needs cooling, but generally stays closed so you can keep the aerodynamics nice. So basically when the air is hitting the vehicle, it forces it around instead of through in there and the less aerodynamic areas. There's also parking sensors. There's a little bit of grill right there for air to flow through it as well. But there's parking sensors integrated here as well as over here. This is a place for a tow hook. Here's high pressure headlight washers. There's gloss black. And here's the front camera in the emblem. Emblem also serves as the radar adaptive cruise control sensor as well. So it's a flat black, and then you have the gloss blacks there in the grille, but also here for the fog lights, which is an LED projector. They also serve as a cornering light for your low and your high beams as well. And I have a full night video on this vehicle if you want to check it out. So the headlights are an LED. They have the Thor's hammer daytime running light, and they are called the Pixel technology. Now they don't have, from what I understand, in Europe, they have like an active bending type situation going on with the headlights. This one just has the cornering lights using the fog lights, but they are excellent high beam headlights. You gotta check out my night video because they are really, really good. There's multiple projector housing. So there's a big one there, and then there's several up here at the top in a black bezel. The low beams have some issues though. High beams are great. Low beams, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if this vehicle is just not adjusted properly or what's going on, but you got to check it out. I go down the road and kind of show you what it looks like to me anyway. So looking at the profile, that flat black that we saw there in the front continues around each wheel well and here at the very bottom of each door as well. Kind of helps out with protecting the finish from road debris and stuff. It also kind of gives it a sporty look and an elevated look. Now the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and that keeps the threshold area a little bit cleaner so you don't get your clothes dirty when you're getting in and out. And we have some more gloss black, the upper portion of the side mirror, also right in here, this pillar, and basically the whole upper part of the vehicle there is a gloss black. Body colored handles. Now you notice that the shape of this one, the C40, the XC40 basically shares the same, is like the same vehicle in the front and on the inside for the most part. This back swooping going on, this is the more suitable for aerodynamics. And when you're dealing with electric vehicles, it makes a huge difference, the aerodynamics. All that wind pressure as you're driving faster and faster and faster, you actually get lower range on the highway than you do in the city on an electric vehicle, because all that that you're trying to push all that air. So swooping the back, you'll notice a lot of electric vehicles have this certain style, and it's specifically for the aerodynamics. This is what the key looks like, and it has a little Volvo emblem there, panic button on this side. Let's go ahead and press that while we're at it. see if it'll do anything here. Yeah, it's loud. Yeah, that was kind of startled me there because it wasn't working, and then all of a sudden it started working. It's a loud horn. Okay, so there's the there's the lock, the unlock, and the ability to open up the power lift gate there. Well, there's also a physical key on the inside as well. You take the cover off and it's inside. I have a video showing you how to take the get the key out of Volvo, and it's basically the same thing. All the Volvos have the same type of key. Now they have the different finishes. So this one just has like a hard plastic finish here on the key. Some of them have like a leather wrapping and stuff, so it's really nice. But they all have the buttons here on the side. So you can basically use the vehicle 100% without taking the key out of your pocket. It's a full proximity key. And so as long as, and it has the sensors on all 4 doors, which is handy, but as long as you have the key with you, you can lock the door by placing your finger over this little sensor indicated with that little dimple right there. You can just put your hand over it or whatever, and it locks the door. And I have it set to where it folds the side mirrors when you do that. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle here. There's a sensor back here, and it unlocks the doors and allows you access to the vehicle. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. So I mentioned that the door goes all the way to the bottom. It also has a seal here as well. So it just kind of keeps this area a little bit cleaner than what it otherwise would be. Here's the inside of the passenger side door, and you can see it's very sleek. There's not a lot of complexity, and you know, it's just a very nice, stylish design. Now this is all soft touch here, right here. It's like a vinyl type material all around your arm. This is enclosed. You can utilize that as a pocket right here. It's pretty good size. And you see this blue felt type material. It basically, it's like a very thin carpet. It feels like a tennis ball, something like that. And nice and soft. And it lines this entire large compartment here at the bottom. This whole area right here. Now this side is hard plastic on this side, but this side's that material, and it's hard plastic behind it. But when you put stuff in there, it kind of keeps it from rattling around. It's nice, and look how huge that is. Lots of room. And you notice they don't have a speaker in the door. There's actually a subwoofer that's kind of like in the firewall here in this area right there, and it sounds amazing. They did a great job on the sound system. It's the Harman Kardon sound system, and there's like a metallic grill cover there on the small speaker. But yeah, the design of the door is really good. It doesn't take up much room with speakers and stuff, and it's just kind of sleek and overall looking nice. Now this area right here illuminates at nighttime, and I'm not talking about a light shining down from it. This whole thing right here illuminates. Same thing with right here. This illuminates this whole pad, and it looks pretty neat. You got to check it out in the night video. So you just type in "at night Volvo C40." Passenger side seat does have I can't demonstrate it because the vehicle, when it turns off, the way this vehicle, I'll explain it in a few minutes, but anyways, when you get out of the vehicle, it turns completely off, so it's not going to do anything right now. But it does have the ability to go up and down and tilt, and a 4-way lumbar adjustments here on the seat. So this is like a suede on the inside and outside, and these are not real leather. It's like a synthetic type leather with the contrast stitching. Check it out, it's in that French double stitch here on the outside, a cloth where it meets up with the hard plastic. But yeah, these seats are really comfortable. Volvo does a good job on seats most of the time. Even has a little Swedish flag over here, looking pretty cool on the seat. And the headrests are disconnected. They are adjustable. And the back seats actually fold down, power fold, here in the Ultimate trim. It has the matching kind of Berber color carpet floor mats, and they snap in place. Lots of room there. Now, this whole area right here, it's like this huge wall. The center area is on the electric vehicle not really all that necessary. So I don't know if they're going to redesign that in the future, because it has a little, it's a little bit issue on the driver's side. Not so much here, but on the driver's side it is. Here's the glove compartment. Now this is hard touch here on the right, this area, and it's non-locking glove compartment, smooth plastic on the inside. And it does have a light in there. You have to look at the night video because there's an issue with it. So it's a soft, kind of rubbery soft, non-reflective dash here. And I really like these vents. The way they're very easy to manipulate, and also to seal them off, you just turn it. It's really nice, and it look good as well. The opening here in the front is fantastic. No problems whatsoever. The height off the ground is nice. From the relationship from the seat to the ground is really easy to get in and out of. No issues, you know, climbing in and out. The swing of the door is nice. The back door, a little bit different. The swing of the door is okay, but you notice since this swoops down, this becomes a little bit of an issue sometimes for some people getting in and out, that headroom. And then this little space right here is very tiny right here. So it's not bad or anything, but it's something to take note of in the C40 versus the XC40. So here's the inside of the back door, very similar styling as the front. You know, we still have the soft touch. We don't have the fanciness as far as the glowing backgrounds and stuff. More plain speaker grill, but we do have that tennis ball type material here. Tiny little threshold here, and it has a little catch pocket there on the side. There's the seats. It's basically a bench seat. Now the latch system or ISOFIX for the car seats has these little covers that pop up, but they are attached, so they hinge on there so you don't lose them, which is nice, but it's very easy to get to. Now the seats reclined a little bit, but they're still kind of flat and not, you know, not super contoured or anything like that. Here in the back, here's an armrest with cup holders. Can move that out of the way. Net pockets on the back of both front seats, and this is a hard touch plastic, and there's just a net pocket there, which is nice because you can like see what's in there, so you don't accidentally put stuff in there and forget about it like some places, some other vehicles. So there's the leg room, and you notice they kind of sink in the floor part where your legs go, so that way your knees aren't sticking up too far in the air. And once again, we have this huge center hump in the middle. It does have 3-stage heated seats back here, which is pretty cool. In the back seats, 3-stage. Now there is a charge port here. It actually has 2 USB-C charge ports. Climate control vents. Now this glass roof is not it doesn't open up, but it is really nice. Really like the design, the way this vehicle looks here in the back. It looks really nice. That sporty kind of swooping down. And it has the shark fin antenna there in black. All this is gloss black, and then you have the rear glass tinted. Really impressive. Now the third brake light is right here, and it's like an LED strip. Gotta check out the night video. Little tiny spoiler right here as well. And the tail lights, they're LED. They extend from here, wrap around. And they just look really nice when you turn on the vehicle, and they kind of like have this little effect that they do when you turn the vehicle on and off. And the turn signals are have these multiple little lights. It's just really impressive. Parking sensors back here, and it's integrated into this flat black portion. There's gloss black down here at the very bottom. Now, one of my gripes on this vehicle is the placement for the camera. It's like way under here, right here, and it's just not good. It's not good. It's just, you can't really, it limits your visibility, and it's not symmetrical. And you have cameras on both the side mirrors. You have one in the very front, but this one right here is the one that kind of screws it up. The 360 view looks halfway decent, but the backup camera, I mean, it just you don't really see directly behind you. You kind of like see the ground behind you, and it could be better. I'll just say that. It could easily, or not easily, but it needs to be up here in this area, high up, and kind of so you can see everything. And also in the very center, not offset as well. Okay, so opening up this power lift gate, we can use the key, or there's a button right here you can push, or there's like a, right in here, you see this parking sensor. Right there, below that is a kick sensor, so you can kick it as well. But that's not something it's not one of those things I like to do. So I just like to push the button and lift it up. And you can see right there where the camera is located. It's just kind of, I don't know why they did that. It has to be for money saving or something, cost cutting or something like that. If you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space, and pretty good amount of space. I was able to gather groceries and put stuff back here, and it's been fine. I hadn't had any issues with for what I'd put back here. Now there's a place for bags to hang here and here, which is always handy. But also, I'll show you there's more. There's more in a second. But there's like attached tie downs here. You see them right there, the body colored blue, and then directly secured to the vehicle, so you can really tie something down back here if you want to. It also has this removable shade. It covers up everything. You can take that out, fold the seats down, add to your cargo space. There's also a pass-through there as well. But under here, this lifts up, and you can kind of tilt it like this. And when you put it right there, like so, it's pretty solid, and it has these little bag holders that kind of pop up right here. So it's a way of adding bag holders in these little places where they connects the two sections together. So now we can hang bags here if we want to, hang them back there. We have like little pockets area here, as well as a subfloor storage area. There's the jack and the tool. Now there's no spare tire, but there is a tire inflator kit. We'll get to that in a minute. Now here's the charge cable, and let me see what it looks like here. We can get a good shot of it. So this is actually a pretty good one, because you're able to plug it in to a 110 outlet, which to me is basically worthless. But they give you, you can change it to the 220. And the 220 makes it to where you can charge the vehicle, you know, in 7 or 8 hours, something like that. Maybe a little bit longer, depending on how much you've driven. So yeah, it has the beefy 220 cable, but it does have the 110 capability, just in case you need that for whatever reason. It takes literally a week to charge the vehicle, or more, if you do it that way. But you do have that capability, you know, just for whatever reason. A lot of new vehicles are just coming with the 110, and you have to buy the 220 separately. So I'm glad they included this. You can take this shade out, you can fold the seats down and add to your cargo space, and it has a pretty decent amount of space back here, and it's almost completely flat. You could potentially, you know, lay down and go camping or whatever in here. But yeah, I was pretty impressed at how much room it was and how, you know, basically level the surface is. Lowering the power liftgate, there's two buttons. One is just to lower it. The other one is to lower the power liftgate, then completely secure and lock the vehicle. So this is really handy when you're finished getting your groceries out or whatever, and you're going in the house, push the button and walk away. And it's gonna close this up and it'll lock the doors and everything, so that's nice. The charge port is here on the driver's side, which is real convenient for me. I like this position. And it's pretty basic, other than it has the DC fast charging capability, which is absolutely essential if you're going on a trip or you're charging it anywhere else besides your house. The DC fast charging. So it has the regular capability to charge, which the charger that comes with just plugs in there, and then the DC fast charging. It has a little light right here and also changes colors depending on what you're doing. And then there's this button right here, and that's very imperative to push that button and to tell the vehicle you're going to unplug it, because if you don't, then it could cause a problem if you just unplug it, especially over and over again without turning off the charge circuit. So basically this tells the vehicle, hey, I'm going to plug it. It turns off the charging and it releases the little lock if it's locked. Okay, so this is very important to understand with this vehicle. There's only a couple other vehicles on the market in the world that operates this way. And basically, you have the key with you, you get in, and you start driving. You don't have to push a button, you don't have to turn a key, anything like that. Now what it does is it has a sensor in the seat, and you have to be sitting in that seat. I've tried to trick it and put like a suitcase in there. Doesn't work. Okay, you have to be sitting in that seat, and you have to hold the brake or whatever, push the brake and put it in gear, and then you should start driving. And when you get out, you put it in park, and then you get out and walk away basically, and it will turn the vehicle off. So if you're not familiar with that, then it seems a little weird, especially when you're walking away from the vehicle. You're like, is it going to turn off? Is it really, like the lights are still on? Is it, when's it going to turn off? That kind of thing. So keep that in mind. You just get in it, and then it senses the key. It senses you sitting in the seat, and then it allows you to drive the vehicle. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now it has a snap in place, just like the other side. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, footrest there on the far left. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch all the way here to the right. So right in here, just reach in there and you lift up, and it's going to release the hood. And it supports itself basically once you lift it up a little bit. But see, right there is the latch that we're actually using right here. And the reason why it's so far to the right is because there's actually two of them. So when you release the hood, there's one there and one there. That is just a safety catch that we're releasing. So the safety is only on one side. So it keeps the hood down, but that's not the main latch. It's actually secured in two places. You can see it right there and right there. Okay, so when you open the hood on like a regular car that has an engine and all that stuff, you notice it's a lot more complex looking than this. This is just flat, just plastic basically. But this is an electric car. So this opens up, and it has a storage compartment here. All right, and this has a seal as well. So this is all sealed up nicely. That has this carpeted divider that you can put, keeps things from sliding left to right, which is nice because, it'd be really annoying to have something just sliding back and forth every time you make a turn. So that's nice, but you can take it out. And this is where you'll find the tire inflator kit. Now it's in this styrofoam piece right here. Now you can probably take this styrofoam piece out, unscrew it to add some more cargo space here. But that's just the way they have it. And there's a tow hook, and usually these are reverse thread. Found out the hard way one time. All right, but yeah, this little storage compartment is handy. You can put your, like your charge cable or whatever up here. But it's, it's relatively small. Space, but it is extra space. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. There's the power window controls here, and like I said, unless you're sitting in a seat, nothing's going to happen. So it's one touch up and down on the power windows. There's the child safety locks for the windows, and then there's the side mirror controls. Just pick a side, adjust it with that little joystick there. You can press both of these to power fold the side mirrors. Lock and unlock, and has a little lock identifier button there. Also, two presets for the power seat here in the front, which is really nice. The side mirror, this is also laminated side glass as well. The side mirror has the little LED indicator for the blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert. That little LED little strip there on the outside of the side mirror. That'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So the power seat also has the 4-way lumbar adjustments. Also, forgot to mention on the passenger side, there is a thigh extension right here. So it's manual, but it kind of pulls out like so. And that's both on both seats. Now to the left of the steering column, there's like a little place to put like cards, driver's license, whatever you want right in here, parking ticket, anything, dimmer switch for the interior gauges. This is also like almost all the lights are controlled with that dimmer switch. There's also a dimmer ability to adjust the light in the vehicle on the main screen over there as well. And then this is to release and open out the power lift gate. There is a tilt and telescoping steering column. Now the release for it's right in here in the center, like so. You push down on it, releases it. Then you can adjust it where you want. And then you lift this up and lock it back in place. To demonstrate how the key works, basically you just get in, okay? So the vehicle's locked, put my hand behind the handle, open it up. So now, vehicle's off, and this will pop up when you unlock it. It shows the battery level, which is at 69%. It shows the doors open there. A few things will turn on here now that I opened it up, but they will turn off if you don't get in and start using the vehicle. So let's go ahead and get in. We'll sit down, get in. So now I'm activating the seat sensor. So now all I have to do is put my foot on the brake, put it in gear, and then everything turns on. I don't have my seatbelt on, so that's what it's warning me now. So I can start driving right now. I can put it in drive, I can put it in reverse, and look at that. Look at the camera position. Do not have certainty in backing up with that type of system. Not very good. Anyways, we'll get into, there's some more good stuff about the camera. I'll get into that in just a few minutes. But the seat position, the comfort, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm gonna go ahead and put it all the way back, all the way down. And there's quite a bit of leg room. So this is too far back for me. I'm 6 feet tall, so if you're a little bit over 6 feet, shouldn't really have a problem. The only issue I've had is the position of that accelerator pedal in this part right here. It's like my leg right here is competing with this, you know. So there's, you can see my foot is kind of obscured at some point because it has to get to the accelerator. So this is kind of protruding out and competing with my legroom for some reason. I don't know why this center console is so big, especially on an electric car. I understand maybe on a gas car, maybe, you know, but still, it shouldn't even be that big. There's plenty of vehicles that, you know, don't even have any of this kind of stuff. But anyways, that's the issue I've had. Other than that, it's great. You can see there's plenty of legroom here on the left side, and so overall, it's good. Steering wheel, it's a simulated leather wrapping, and it feels nice. It's soft to the touch, excellent thickness. It is a heated steering wheel as well. Has little grips up here, and it has the same thickness and feel all the way around. Some vehicles are thicker at one side and thinner on the other side. So other than right in here, it's the same thickness. So it feels really nice, really nice. On the left side of the steering wheel is the cruise control, and the center button is how you turn it on and set it at the same time. So you can just hit that, and it sets it, and you can change your speed and you know, hit it again or whatever, and it'll reset it to that speed, whatever your speed you're at. It's very intuitive, very easy to use. Now when you change the speed up and down, this is also the resume button there. It's in 5 mile an hour increments. If you want to do 1 mile an hour increments, you have to hold it down, and then it'll let you go one at a time. Hold it down, another one. Hold it down, another one. So it's a little bit strange. Now in the other Volvos with the pilot assist system, you can turn that on or off with the left and right. And this one, the left and right, is not doing that. It's not doing anything really. So that's something to consider. The actual pilot assist is actually, the turning on and off is in the screen over here. This is to change the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you with the adaptive cruise control, and it works really good. The adaptive cruise control is excellent. Here on the right side, this is the volume for the radio, change to the tracks. But these buttons are also used when you press this button, pops up this little screen right here. You can go left and right, make selections there. You can also reset all this stuff, all this data. It's like a data drive computer, basically. You can also press this button right here to make that map go away. So you can have a map or no map. The voice recognition button right here, thus you can make selections. And this has the Google Assistant as well. It is a full Google system right here. It works pretty good. The maps and everything, it's very easy to use. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side. Here on the left side is a turn signal, but it also has your headlight switch. So you're able to turn off all the exterior lights, turn on the parking lights, headlights, automatic, and then you can toggle the automatic high beams right here like so. The front fog lights are right there, you just press that. The rear fog lights, you press that, and that, the front is so you can see better. The rear is so other cars can see you better. It makes a little bit brighter light. And they're at the very bottom of the back of the vehicle. Okay, so the gauge is basically pretty simple. Not a lot of complexity here, but it looks fantastic. So let me adjust the brightness down a little bit. Sometimes the camera blows out and you can't see all that good. Okay, so there's the digital speedometer here, and then you have a kind of like a regular analog speedometer as well. And right now I hit the cruise control button, and it went ahead and set it at 20. So that's what that looks like. That's what that 20 is for, and that's what the little bar, little gray portion right there represents. Also, the little speed limit sign showing you what the last speed limit sign said. The last one you passed, it'll show up right there. The camera system looks out for them, and it shows you what the speed limit is on the road that you're on. Then you have the trip down there, and the odometer as well can be seen. You pop this up right here, and you can see the odometer there on that data screen there. Alright, so really nice map that shows here in the center where you're driving. It's nice, it's easy on the eyes, you can see it easy, but it's not overly complex or anything. This is the battery percentage. It doesn't have a range here. It has a battery percentage because the range varies quite a bit as you drive. It's actually, when you plug it in, it tells you, hey, it's good. Let me give you an example. You plug it in, it says it's going to be finished charging at 10:30. Let's say I think it was like 6 o'clock or whatever. I come back at 10:30, it changed it to 12:45 will be finished. So at 10:30 it was still saying it needs more time. So the estimations on the charging varies quite a bit depending on the amps and all that stuff. But also, as you're driving, depends on the temperature outside, depends on the climate control, it depends on your driving style. There's a lot of different variables, and I'll show you on the main screen. It actually has a screen that shows you those variables, and it'll adjust as you drive the range. So anyways, it has the battery percentage instead of the range. Now here it has like this little needle that goes up and down and lets you know how much power you're using versus how much you're charging the vehicle. So it has the blended regenerative braking. So as you push the brake pedal, it actually charges the battery because it's using that forward momentum to recharge the battery briefly. But as you push the accelerator, the needle is going to go up and show you that you're consuming power instead of creating it. And then there's what gear you're in there, and it's showing that it's ready to drive, and that the parking brake is on. And now the parking brake engages every time you hit you put it in park. So there's no separate button for that or lever or anything like that. All right. So you can see there's a place for a start button would be there. me turn the brightness back to a little bit higher here. Okay, so right there is where the start button would be on a gasoline engine vehicle, but they just kind of plugged it up, so there's no button. Okay, so here is the touchscreen. And I actually have, which is pretty much out of date now, unfortunately, I have a full overview of the Google system, and they've updated it since then. But basically, it's you see these different sections here, and as you tap one, it expands, and then you can go back using this physical button here, kind of like a cell phone has a button at the bottom. You kind of you can go here, go back out of that, Apple CarPlay, you have to connect your device, and then your range. This is where I was talking about the variables in the range assistant selection here. So speed is a variable, how fast you're going, your driving style, and your climate control. But what it doesn't say here is the temperature outside, but it gives you an estimated, you can see this, your range has an estimated range. So 180 miles to 100 miles, depending on different factors and all that stuff. Now the range optimizer is actually turned on, and what that does is it limits your climate control. So my climate control is actually off, so it helps out a lot when you do that. It does have a heat pump instead of a traditional heat and air conditioning system, so it's actually just moving heat instead of creating heat, or vice versa. It's basically just moving heat, whether it's inside the vehicle or outside the vehicle. So that's way more efficient than the traditional system. So that's really good to see. And it's in the ultimate trim with the heat pump. So the range optimizer, if you're using the climate control, good idea to have that on, because it's not a huge difference as far as, the way you feel, because it does a decent job of keeping up with everything. But if it's a super hot day, then you might want to turn that off and just deal with the hit on the mileage, on the range, if basically if you don't care about the range so much. And it shows your consumption here, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let's get back out of that. So you can see there's some different things there. Let's go to all of the different buttons here. So at the top, there's the maps, Bluetooth media, radio, satellite radio. This can be expanded to all these different apps right here, even Spotify, YouTube Music. You can go into the Play Store and then download apps as well. Then your phone, Apple CarPlay, Google Assistant, Range Assistant, that's the one we just saw. And let's go back to where we were. All right, and then car status. So this will be like your tire pressure, and there's the service. So there's not a lot to service. It's not like you have to have oil changes or anything, but there is certain places that the vehicle can be inspected, change the windshield wipers, that kind of stuff. There's a Play Store, and then there's an owner's manual, which is pretty detailed and searchable, which is fantastic. And you can go to the different parts of the vehicle, you can search, and learn stuff before driving and while driving, what you need to know, interior and exterior, different features, and all that stuff. You can also pull down from the top and you get your notifications, and you can clear them just like you would on your cell phone, basically. Climate control can be expanded. You just hit that, it pops up, and then you can have, right now it's off, you can turn on automatic, or you can change where you want the air to blow, your fan speed here, your temperature for the driver and passenger, you can link those together, turn on and off your air conditioning, recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters as well. So let's go ahead and turn that off again, and then we can pop it back down where it was, down here. Right here on the right side is the heated seat for the passenger. It's a 3-stage. On the driver's side, this pops up because you have the heated steering wheel, which is 3-stage heated steering wheel, and a 3-stage heated seat here on the driver's side. There's also a little cog right here, little gear for all the settings. And on the left side here, you see a little camera that pops up, and you can look at the camera system without actually putting it in reverse. Now you notice it has a split. So it has the rear camera, and then up here it has a car, which is representing the parking sensor. So as you're getting close to something, it'll beep at you and show you a little visual indicator of where the object is. Now, if you get close to something and it starts beeping, it actually automatically pops up this camera system, and which is very handy. So as we tap the screen, we can click that, and we can get the top-down view. This is the best view that in the vehicle, as far as the camera system. It's utilizing all 4 cameras, one on each side mirror and one in the front and the back, and stitching it together and giving you a top-down view, like there's a drone hovering over your car looking straight down. So it's pretty handy, because that backup camera, as we saw, is pretty limited. So it just shows you what's on the ground. So objects that are higher up, you know, that backup camera can't really see. So at least you're able to see what's on the ground around you. Like so. Alright, so let's pop that back up, because we can see the front view. We can see a side view. That side. And we see the back. And like you can see the trunk lid there obscuring your vision right where you want to look, you know. And also it's offset, so you see one side of the tag and not the other side, and everything's kind of stretched out. It does have active guidelines there, and where you can see, it's pretty high resolution. It looks pretty good, but the location makes it limited. And the location, I'd like to see the engineer justify this. It's like, obviously this is not the best place to put the camera. I'm just, you know, kind of surprised. The vehicle, everything else is so nice, and then they have such a design flaw that's blaringly obvious, and it's a potential safety issue, in my opinion. I mean, you can see, but it's just not as good as it could be. It's even worse when it's raining. The water, the fog, all that stuff clogs up and blocks your view. So you do have to rely on the rear cross traffic alert to let you know if something's coming. Now the camera system, yeah, let's go ahead and pop that back up. Right, so camera system has its own little cog wheel, and you can adjust turn off the wheel guidelines or turn the volume up or down for the parking sensors. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the screen there. It does have a digital clock, which is kind of small, and it has little status of the connection with the system, and it has over-the-air updates. And from what I understand, they're going to have some updates that might potentially help with the range and different things on the vehicle as well. But that range assistant is pretty handy with the range optimizer, and kind of keep an eye on things, especially if you're kind of worried about where you're going and if you're going to have enough miles and all that stuff. Also, if you press this button and hold it, it goes into a cleaning mode right here, so you can clean the screen and without, you know, changing all your settings accidentally by wiping the screen. So you can tap the screen all you want. You can press the button even, because when you're wiping, sometimes you press it. You have to press and hold it to turn it back on. So I like that a lot. So down here is a physical volume knob, play and pause as well. Front and rear defrosters, change to the tracks on the radio. Your 4-way flashes are also here. This is nothing. These are just like an empty spot. And this is a sensor. This actually senses the temperature. It's like a temperature sensor. So it can tell what the ambient temperature is in the vehicle, so it can adjust the climate control. It looks like a little SD card, doesn't it? Slot, but it's not. Alright, so down here, 12-volt power supply, 2 USB-C charge ports. This is the one that you need to plug in for the Apple CarPlay Android Auto. It has a wireless charger down here as well. It's kind of rubberized floor. This actually comes out, this rubberized floor, and you can take it out, clean it, put it back in. But check it out, underneath it is a little pad there, the wireless charging pad. Made in China. I know those things are kind of made in different places. The motors and the transmissions made in China on this vehicle. A lot of things are made in Germany, Slovakia. I saw in here. A lot of different European countries, Belgium. Okay, so there's a cup holders there, little articulating arms. It's open. This side's lower, this side's a little bit higher on the cup holders. It's like a little step there. And there's the shifter, and it has like this hole in the center. The last XC40 I had, which is the gasoline one, had the Orifor's crystal shifter, which is looking pretty nice. The only one I saw other Volvo that had that was the Excellence, the XC90 Excellence, which had the wine glasses and all that stuff. It was pretty cool. But yeah, this one's just kind of plain looking. It's fully functional, it's fine. But basically you just pull it back to go and drive, hold the brake of course, and then push it forward to go in reverse. And if you want to go in neutral, you just kind of pull it back just slightly and then it'll go in neutral. To put it in park, you just press the button. So it's very simple. So this is a really cool feature I think all vehicles should implement, and that is the little trash can. It has like a little lid right there, so you get the little straw off your soda or whatever you're drinking, or whatever it is, you know, piece of paper or anything, and you can pop it in there real fast and it gets it completely out of the way. Really like it. It's really handy, it's easy to get to, and it just gets little tiny things that you don't really have a place for. Toothpick, anything that you normally just like just throw it in the cup holder because you don't know what to do with it. This is a way of getting it out of the way and, you know, not looking ugly and trashy in the vehicle. There's the armrest. It's kind of pretty firm, but it is soft to the touch. There's the stitching there. It's kind of rubbery soft basically, and it locks down. Press the button to release it, and when you release it, it still flops back down, so you kind of have to lift it up all the way like so to keep it from doing that. And it has a storage compartment here. It has a little light in there, and I got my business cards in there. But it has like this rubber floor that you can take out, clean, put it back in. Not too bad as far as, you know, the depth is okay, and it's a good size. And this is how you actually take out this little trash can to dump it. You can dump it, clean it. This top part you can take off. You just push that and pop the top off, and you can empty it. And this is where I noticed the top part's made in Germany because it says underneath, and then this part says Slovakia. So the top part's made in Germany, and the bottom part's made somewhere else. I just thought that was kind of neat. You can actually take this out and just you have a large compartment here if you want, and then you can have like this quick access port here. But you know, this is just so convenient having this little guy in here that I don't know why you'd want to take it out. The rear view mirror is auto dim. It's an auto dim rear view mirror. The side mirror is also auto dim as well. They're not, yeah, actually they are a little bit right now because I have the shade over the light sensor. And so yeah, it's an auto dim rear view mirror. It also has the HomeLink garage door opener controls here underneath it. There's tap lights up here. Turn on all the interior lights with that. If you want to turn off, you want to have the interior lights not turn on when you open the door, you press and hold that button and it'll turn that feature off. It'll actually turn red. Let's go ahead and do it. Like so. You can press and hold it again to turn it back like that. It's pretty neat. The visor is actually wrapped in like this tough vinyl material in black. Now the headliner is like a fabric type material, and then this is the vinyl and has a little clip, mirror, light. It does not extend out. It's not extending out, but it does a decent job. Same thing there on the passenger side. So the sunroof is basically a glass roof it doesn't open or tilt or anything like that. It's just a big glass roof, looking pretty good. And it does well, it's winter time now, but it's pretty cold out. But it does a decent job of keeping the sun out of your eyes and, you know, not really warming you up too much. Now in the real hot summertime, it might be an issue, but it does. I think they have like a tint or a UV blocker or whatever it is in that glass, and keeps it from just kind of blaring on you. But you're able to see out nicely. Okay, it's visibility. Now, not only do you have issues with the camera, you also have visibility issues as far as looking this way. It has huge pillars back there, and the way the back of the vehicle swoops down, it's hard to see directly behind you. Like, you can see directly behind you, but at a distance, it's hard to see. You know, it's a little bit of an issue as far as visibility overall. I mean, this is both with the camera system, rear view, and looking out this way, just a problem. It is a problem sometimes. Now, it does have the rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system. It does have the 360 camera, the parking sensors. So you're able to deal with it. But with that swooping design back there, it does present an issue that you're going to have to deal with. Not a huge issue, not a deal breaker for me anyway. It's just, that's not, to me, this isn't really that big of a deal. The camera part is a big deal, you know, because it's so easily changed. You know, it's not going to mess up the aerodynamics if you move the camera. But in this case, it's kind of like you're going for a particular aerodynamic. It serves a purpose. Getting in the vehicle, you just put it in reverse or drive, and it's going to hold the brake until you hit the accelerator. So when you first get in and you're like, okay, I put it in drive, but it's not moving, right? But as soon as you hit the accelerator, then it'll start going. Initially, when you first start driving. It also has a hill hold feature. So if you come to a complete stop on a hill and you're waiting for traffic, when you let go of the brake, if it's on a hill, it won't roll. It'll allow you to basically hit the accelerator before it goes. Now, love the turning radius. Check it out. I don't know if you can tell, it's a really nice turning radius. You like spin right around in a very small circle. So yeah, that's a huge plus. And with the climate control off, it's very quiet. And when you put it in reverse, it has like the beeping sound as you saw in the beginning of the video. So it's less annoying. Some vehicles have like this annoying sound. This is kind of like a nice beeping sound. Like, you know, people are accustomed to trucks and stuff having a beeping sound when they reverse, so it's in line with that, but it's not as, it's a little bit nicer sounding. Kind of like an echoey beep, like a submarine. The acceleration is fantastic. It's just, but the thing is, you can drive it easy. Don't have any problems at all driving it easy. I mean, really, you wouldn't even know how powerful this vehicle is unless you really push the accelerator. You might think that it's not all that powerful, you know, just driving it normally. Now I have the camera positioned to where the microphone's not directly in front of my face, so it might sound a little bit loud as I'm driving because the actual microphone's aiming down. But it's a pretty quiet vehicle. Yeah, really fun acceleration. It's like it's addicting. Accelerating fast with any electric car, but this one's like 4.5 seconds, 0 to 60. So it edges out a lot of some of the smaller vehicles. So yeah, we've got some road noise, we've got a little bit of wind noise. So it's not a super quiet vehicle, but when you play the sound system, all that drowns out, and it sounds so good, the sound system with that subwoofer. I don't know how they did it with the subwoofer over there in the firewall, because you can't really see it. It's behind everything else, but it sounds really good. The placement of the speaker is good. It sounds even. It sounds like you're just surrounded. It's not lopsided like that Lexus I did a little while ago. So yeah, just driving it easy, you know, just pushing the accelerator at a normal amount, it feels weak, but once you push it, it just really takes off. And it has that all-wheel drive system that just like you're glued to the road. Otherwise, you've had some issues with the spinning wheels if you didn't have the traction control. Okay, so this is a relatively smooth road, and we're going to go ahead and just activate the cruise control. Now, the cruise control by itself is good. The pilot assist system I don't like. It constantly fights me on the steering wheel. So right now it's halfway decent, but it still wants to wander. I mean, the lines are clearly marked, but it wants me, I'm almost on that white line, but it keeps kind of tugging me to the right constantly. Especially when I'm holding the steering wheel. When I let go, it actually does a little bit better. But when I'm holding it, it feels like it's constantly struggling against me all the time. It doesn't, even though I'm right in the center of the lane, it kind of wants to struggle with me. And I have had this issue with other Volvos as well, where there's always some kind of issue with it, and I usually just turn it off. Unfortunately, this one, you can't just push a button and turn it off. You have to go into this system over here and turn it off. So, you know, basically what I do is just wait till I stop somewhere and then turn it off. Because it activates automatically every time you have the cruise control on. And it makes me kind of like, you know, it jerks the wheel and stuff, you know. It's not something I like anyway. But other than that, the adaptive cruise control with the distance between other cars, it does good. See, I'm fighting with it right now just to stay straight. That adaptive cruise control is good. It has the distance that are great. It keeps me at a far distance when I want, or I can close in if I need to. So yeah, the cruise control system is great. It even has automatic high beams that are good as well. So yeah, a lot of things that work on this vehicle, a lot of things work really well. So you'll notice here, hopefully you can see that, the speed, the driving style are the two things that's limiting my ability to have range, the highest range basically. So I'm driving, you know, I'm like punching the accelerator and stuff, and also going at high speeds because of the wind resistance is you know, taking a hit on the range as well. Now you can see that went up into the yellow now instead of the blue. It's like, okay, now you're gonna really diminish the range. But you notice the climate control is not on, so that's one of the factors that kind of helps out. If I turn the climate control on, it's going to lower that range. So right now it's showing at 66% battery life, is showing 140 miles. And when it's cold outside, like really cold, it can be as low as, like on a full charge, it could be as low as 130 miles. So as far as the range on this vehicle, it could be an issue for a lot of people. I think that would actually be the deal breaker for some people. If you drive a lot, if you don't drive that much each day and you don't plan on driving that much, then I think this would be good. But you know, if you're driving, see, that would probably be the limitation for me as well, is that, you know, that range is really an issue for me. But you know, there's a lot of people that don't drive more than, you know, 15-20 miles a day, like going to work, back, even stopping at stores and stuff. They just don't do that much driving. So this would be plenty of range for that. Even on the worst, coldest day with all the climate control on and driving like a maniac, you still would get better. You know, you'd have plenty of miles. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of music. Well, let's see here. Let's see if it'll play. It's trying to play it off. There we go. Because it is so good, the sound system. And of course, you know, I'm recording it with a camera, so keep that in mind. But it just fills the air. It fills the room with that bass, everything. It's just really nice. impressive. It's just so much fun to drive this. You got the music playing, you got a comfortable seat, you got acceleration, it looks good, it feels good. It's just one of those vehicles that I really enjoy. But yeah, go ahead and turn that off. Not everybody likes the same music I do. Now this is copyright free music too. That's another thing. I'm very limited on what I can actually play in videos. So yeah, we're charging the battery now as as I'm pushing the brake. It's a blended braking system. Blended from, between the brake pads and the actual regenerative braking system. So yeah, you can and even in short distances, you can punch it and speed up really fast to the speed limit, even if the speed limit's not very much. Like a regular gasoline engine, you have to rev the engine really high and change gears and all that stuff, so you need a lot of space in front of you. With electric car, you just bam, very short distance, accelerate, and so it's just really fun. So this is a bumpy road right here. A little bit of bumps, but the suspension system's kind of stiff. You can feel the bumps in the road, but overall, when you're going real fast around a corner, something that stays level, there's not leaning or anything as much, and the suspension's pretty dang good. It hasn't been an issue. Some vehicles just there's some kind of weirdness to it. This one's fine, I've driven over some really annoying roads. The roads that will annoy you in other vehicles, and this one's fine. So right in here, we've got some curbs. Let's go ahead and turn on the camera. Sometimes we're a real small space like this, I like to just turn that on just for certainty. Now if you go over 10 miles an hour, it'll turn off, but so right here there's this curb. Go to there. You can see it right there. It's real easy. I've never hit it, but it's real easy to forget about that right where it is. And it's kind of high up too. So driving through the parking lot like this, that camera is handy at times. So we go like this. We can miss the curb. We have certainty on where we're at. Now I just glance at this. I'm not looking at that and driving, but it does help have that certainty to see precisely where you're at. So like right here, like we have those solid white lines where you're supposed to stop, you can have certainty on where you're at. So you just press the park button. So we're done, we're parked, and basically don't have to do anything other than simply just get out of the vehicle. So when you hit the park button, it automatically turns on the parking brake, and since it's an electric vehicle, it basically that's the only thing it does really, other than just stop driving. So when you get out, so now the seat sensor doesn't sense you anymore, and the key is now outside the vehicle. So basically you just lock the door and walk away, and the vehicle just turns off.